Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the co-owner and co-creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and as promised, I'm doing a daily coronavirus video to shed light on some of the unique things that are happening during this time for us and how we can take a different approach and adopt new perspectives so that we are choosing growth over fear. And I know this is a challenging time, and I know that a lot of sort of scary things are happening, and there's a lot of uncertainty and change and things that feel out of our control. And I definitely know that this is creating a lot of triggering for many different individuals, and that's completely okay. But what I want to be here to do during this time for all of you guys watching this channel and who are a part of the community is to provide support and insight and make sure that you don't feel alone during this time as well. So what I'm doing is creating a daily video, and I'll be creating other content as well besides just these daily videos, but they will be about what we're experiencing right now, about the coronavirus, about self-isolation, quarantines, lots of things being shut down, the impact on the economy, the impact on our personal daily lives, our connections, our relationships. And what I'll be doing is every single day providing a useful piece of insight that I highly recommend you tune into daily, that will help you just shift your perspective and learn what you can take away from these things, because we have a choice, right? No matter how challenging things are, we can either just be reactive and emotionally respond to things out of whatever feels like it's coming out of us at the time, or we can be intentional about our responses. And we can think of, okay, what can we take away from this? How can we grow in this situation? What new boundaries do we need? What new creative insights can we think of to get our needs met or to connect to others? And the more intentional we choose to be and the more supportive emotional tools and strategies we have under our belt during this time, the more we'll be able to look back on this situation and go, oh, like I made it through and actually took things away from it. And you don't want to look back on this chapter in your life and go, that was the worst time ever. Like, of course it's challenging, but when times are challenging, this is when we need the most introspection and support, and to dig deep into ourselves and to come up with different strategies and solutions and to look within. And so I want to sort of just provide these tools daily that will give some of these things to you guys. So before I dive into the content for today, where we're going to talk about the different needs that are not going to be met largely because of this adjustment that's happening across the world, and how we can come up with creative strategies to get these needs met and what those needs will be and how to sort of take a look at them. Before I dive into all of that, I do want to let you know we are offering scholarships inside the school for people at this time. If you're struggling in any way, we're also offering sales, so 25% off all membership bundles. So anybody who comes in to the school and wants to purchase a 3-month, 6-month, 8-month, or 12-month, as well as individual courses, if you enter the coupon code, which I have at the bottom of the video here in the description, with you, all one word, that will give you 25% off everything. So we're just trying to do whatever we can to be supportive. And if anybody really wants to, this is a great time, honestly, to be doing self-work, because you're at home, you have access to a computer, you have time and space to feel your feelings. There's probably not a better time to be doing self-work than now. So if you are off work or struggling or anything like that, we're definitely here to support anybody, and you can feel free to reach out to our team at info@Personal Development School, and we have other options available if you're struggling to be able to afford courses at this time. We will support you in whatever way we can. So let me dive into everything here. So one of the most important things that we can do during this time is first recognize the importance of the shift that's taking place in our ability and capacity to get our needs met. There are two things as a general rule that are making us suffer. There is unmet needs, okay? And whenever we have unmet needs, we're gonna feel some kind of pain, and that pain is there to force us to grow and look within and change something. Like if you stub your toe and you feel physical pain, that pain is there to warn you, to notify you, to communicate to you. And emotional needs are essentially doing the same thing. And then the belief and thought patterns we give to those needs not being met, so the meaning we give to situations, the story we tell around them, those are the things that create suffering. So I really want to target in this video, it's pain and suffering basically. I really want to target in this video how to work on the needs portion of this. So we have different types of needs, first and foremost. So we have our 6 basic human needs, Tony Robbins often refers to. Then we have what I call our personality needs, the needs that our personality generally hyper focuses on. and gets really personal around. And I'm going to go into that in a separate video. And then we have our tertiary needs, which are sort of our moment to moment needs. Like I need to be heard. I need to be connected. I need to, be validated in a situation where I'm expressing my feelings or whatever it might be, sort of our moment to moment needs, but not things that are necessarily governing who we are, our personality, or that are so deeply intrinsically wired into our subconscious the way our 6 basic human needs are. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to go right to the bottom in our intrinsic wiring, and I want to focus on our 6 basic human needs. So our 6 basic human needs are growth, love and connection, certainty, novelty, significance, and contribution. Now, if you reflect on what's happening at this time, what you'll notice is that many of these needs are being taken away or threatened during this time. Like our need for certainty is definitely being pushed on a little bit, right? Because this is an uncertain time where a lot of people are having to change the way they work or change their relationship to work, stay home. We don't know when sort of many people across the world having to isolate and not connect as much with others is going to change. We don't know what the future holds. We don't know, when businesses will be back up and running. There's a lot of things that are pushing uncertainty, okay? And I want you to recognize that when our needs are not met, it often creates feelings of sadness, anxiety, distress, frustration, anger. Like our emotions are there to communicate to us, hey, things are not being met. And what we have to do is work with our emotions instead of just suffer through them and recognize, okay, there are messages coming in, like these emotions are here to tell me something. And we have to create conscious and intentional creative ways of getting these needs met in different forms. So I'm going to really go through that in a little bit. So we have, love and connection. Well, many people are being asked to quarantine or isolate, and obviously that's impacting relationships of all kinds. Friendships, romantic partnerships, all sorts of relationships are going to be impacted by this, and obviously that's going to impact love and connection. Novelty. I see some people being stir crazy, like wanting to go outside and do fun things and be social and go to the pub or do whatever people do, and obviously that's being pushed on. So there's a lot of, we could really look at a whole bunch of different things here, but you can see how if we are wired to get these needs met and then there's a negative emotional feeling whenever they're not, and then we start to not have these needs met, we're going to be feeling patterns of negative feelings. But instead of just feeling like, oh my gosh, this is awful, we want to work with those feelings instead of against them. So what do? We create different ways, different strategies of getting these needs met, which we can do so consciously and intentionally by A, being aware that this is happening and having access to this information, and B, by also thinking outside the box and thinking, okay, what are some creative strategies, and kind of brainstorming a little bit on behalf of our conscious mind to support our subconscious mind and internal wiring. So love and connection, I'm just going to share some ideas, but really you can sit and think of what comes to you. So first, write out those 6 basic human needs: growth, love and connection, certainty, novelty, significance, contribution. And then write what you feel like is being threatened the most at this time. And you can put them in sort of like an order, right, of a hierarchy of what feels most threatened to least threatened. And then you want to spend time on those places in your life coming up with conscious and intentional ways to get those needs met. So I'll share some ideas to help get the wheels spinning, but you really have to apply these things to your own life and see what works for you. And I urge you to stretch outside of your comfort zone a little bit. So number 1, love and connection. How about having deeper conversations with people? How about, looking up questions? I have worksheets on the website and inside the school, but if anybody wants to email info@personal development school, we'll send these out. And we have all these deep connection questions. So there's 60 questions to ask before you get married. There are questions to get closer to your partner, deeper connection questions. There are self-discovery questions, all about you doing a deeper dive into the relationship to yourself and your strengths and weaknesses and where you're at. And these are, this is a great time to play those games with people over the phone or over Skype. Talk to people and say, hey, let's do this worksheet since we're bored or we're waiting. Have deeper conversations. And it's often more rewarding to have a deep emotional conversation, even over the phone, than it is to have a surface conversation, talking about the weather or whatever else in a public area, like at a coffee shop or wherever else that might be. And I'm not saying that when people go out they only have surface conversations. But I'm saying the more intentional we are to create depth in the dynamics of our conversations, the greater chances that of us feeling more deeply fulfilled in those conversations. Another couple things. If you join our Facebook group, we have our Facebook group, and then we're creating mastermind groups. So where people can get in there, bond. There's little worksheets for people to do together, suggested ideas and activities. Like, come in there, create support systems online for yourself. We are so lucky to be living in a day and age where we have access to online platforms to connect with others. So we might as well capitalize on them. Certainty, when it comes to the need for certainty, really great things to do is, like, certainty has a lot to do with knowing order, structure, and a lot of us don't really know what the future holds. So what we can do to supplement for that need is create a daily schedule, create intentional habits and targets you want to hit for yourself. Like, maybe you want to do one thing every day where you feel like you're learning, and you put that in your schedule. Maybe you want to schedule your work time, if you're working from home at this time, your connection time with others, your exercise time, if you want to exercise from your home, or go for a walk outside, as long as you're in a safe space, obviously. Like, do things that are intentional, that are getting your needs met, creating habits, and also write those things out. So you feel like even if you don't have certainty for every day in the future, every day you wake up and you have a plan for yourself that creates certainty and purpose and habits for your life. These are just ideas. You can come up with so many more. Novelty. Learn new things, take new courses, sign up for online yoga class, like whatever you can find. Do things that are going to benefit you and make you feel like there's variety, there's change, there's different things you can do in your life. Watch a new TV show if it feels empowering and rewarding. Go outside more. Again, if you can go outside safely, and you're not in some super populated area, and you're sort of breaking suggested ideas for taking space and not being around people too much, go for a walk. Like, what a beautiful time to, like, enjoy nature, appreciate nature, take your dog for longer walks. Whatever it is, it's a great time to just do different things that connect you back to yourself, connect you back to your feelings, connect you back to some of our healthier roots, like a relationship to nature, a relationship to learning, a relationship to processing our feelings. Like, we can spin this and we can take things from these times instead of just feeling victimized by them, okay? And the more we do that intentionally, the less painful they'll feel. Growth. Have the tougher conversations, do the self-work, acknowledge your feelings. You're naturally in a time where you have the time and space to feel things. So more things are also going to likely come up for you during this time. It's just a pattern I'm seeing and recognizing. It's not uncommon. When you have time to contemplate, sometimes things that you've been pushing down or avoiding, now they're there and they're present and you're seeing them. So work through those things. That's an opportunity. And then with contribution, like, how can you help others in a safe way? How can you spread meaning and support? How can you show up for others differently, even if it's emotionally through the phone? Whatever way that is, that's a great thing to do as well. So here are some just initial ideas. I think it's so important to have the awareness that our lack of needs being met impacts our emotional state, and that there's something we can do about it by being aware of this, and then creating sort of a pivot in how we live life and being intentional and still deriving things from our environment, just in a different way than we're used to, so that we don't have to feel completely disempowered. So I will be giving daily new tips like this every single day, literally. So tune in, check in, and thank you so much for watching. And I'm sending lots of warmth and hugs and just compassion for anybody who's going through the times that they are right now, and stressed. And please feel free to comment below as well, anything you want me to focus on, because I will be making future videos around the things that I'm seeing. So please share and connect and comment below. Thank you so much for watching.